as we can see here, Women's Division 6 is now underway. The cannon has gone off and a flying start there from Corpus Christi, trying to get that perfect racing line, as we've already alluded to. Chasing them down, it is Hartford in second place, but it looks to be a blinding start from St. Catherine's, looking to get the early bump. They're already closing that 1.5 length gap that they had off the start. Fantastic start from St. Catherine's as they head under Donington Bridge or so. They're already pulling away from the likes of University's third eight, but closing behind them it is Lady Margaret Hall, closely followed by St. Peter's. I think we're going to have a fantastic tussle, Adam, between those three, University, Lady Margaret Hall and St. Peter's, as we head under Donington Bridge towards the Gut.
No, I think you're completely right, and it looks like there's also a little bit of a battle with the four bottom boats, or the three bottom boats, sorry. But here we do have St. Cat's, which are getting extremely close to bumping Hartford right now. We can see the Hartford Cox looking over his shoulder, trying to see if they can still do a little bit of a push to get away. He's thinking about conceding from the looks of it. There he goes, raising his right arm, remembering to raise the left arm, good, the other side of the boat. So now St. Cat's have bumped up, and Hartford will now try and row on, either trying to bump the boat ahead of them, which is Corpus Christi, or just trying to make sure that they don't get bumped again. It looks like University College are chasing them.
So it looks like Lady Margaret Hall, they got up, they caught University. Lady Margaret, we see just before the camera angle changed, just pulling into the side of the bank to allow the rest of St. Peter's, St. Bennett's to come through. University still in contention despite having been bumped. They're either looking to catch Hartford out in front or just stay or keep the competition at bay further and further down the line. We see there it looks to be St. Bennett's coming through. They've got a tough challenge on their hands to try and catch up with the likes of University College and St. Peter's as well. St. Peter's have had a fantastic start, and there we see just coming into your shot. It is Brasenose, their second eight in Torpids 2021. Look to me like they are wrapping up Division 6 so far. Adam, I've already said it, but it's a fantastic shot down the gut with those 4.8s. We see a couple of them tucked into the side, but what an advertisement for college rowing in Oxford.
No, yeah, exactly. This is really brilliant, Coxie. Although you do see that some of those boats were kind of going into that kind of fake bank there, which you kind of want to cut across, really, because otherwise you're just doing way too much and you're adding distance. But no, there are 10 boats in that division, all coxing really nice and safely. And as we saw, a few bumps. As soon as they get that bump, they're showing their hand and clearing the racing line, and it's very well going very well. And so for the moment, from the back of the division, we can see Brasenose still rowing, but ahead of them is St. Bennett's Hall, which would mean that Magdalen W2 have bumped out. We also saw St. Catherine's bump out a second ago. In fact, they're rowing back into the river now. And also rowing in, that looks like it's LMH with blue blades and yellow. Were LMH in it? Yes, they were. So LMH have bumped out. So that's 3 crews that managed to bump out before the gut, which is obviously what everyone wants, because you want to do 20 strokes and be done.
Yeah, race plan executed perfection there. I mean, to race the shortest possible distance, but it keeps the legs fresh, of course, for racing down the line. We see they're just coming past the Long Range Boathouse in front of us there. But it is such an impact, Adam. If you're able to get your crew out in about 300-400 meters without having to race all the way down this 1,800 meter course, what a morale boost that gives you. But also, which is what a competitive edge it gives you for the rest of the divisions, knowing that some crews, they might have had 1,800 meters worth of racing, but you've only been racing for 200-300 meters. What a difference that makes.
Yeah, exactly. It's the morale boost of that for all these. So another thing to add is, so when there are torpids year on year in normal situations, so there'll be a few people in the boat that have already done bumps, but this year, especially because of the year and a half of 2 years of lockdown, because of COVID, there's a majority, if not everyone in that boat, who's never done bumps before. So this is their first experience of rowing potentially and of an Oxford Bumps race. So they would have been extremely nervous and kind of potentially a bit confused as to what was going to happen. And now they've had this first day, the success on the first day, and now they can relax a little bit more and come in tomorrow, jump in the boat, and they'll be, as I said, just much more relaxed and calm about the whole event, and just focus on powering down, putting down that power, and loading up their spoons as they go through the water. So, bumping on day one is a really good morale booster, and probably one of the most effective ways of kind of having a good week, really.
Yes, we see there just coming past the canal barges. We're back at New College Boathouse. We see there Hartford just finishing off their piece. So a comfortable margin that they've got over the rest of the field as well. So it'll be a nice, easy final few hundred meters or so for their row out.
From what I've seen on the screen so far, I believe that St. Catherine's W2 have bumped out. I believe University W3 has bumped out. I believe LMH W2 has also bumped out, as well as Magdalen W2. And this is purely based on the fact of the boats, the order of the boats now on the upper half of the gut, and the boats that we're seeing that are still rowing up to the head of the river. So, for example, here St. Peter's we see. So if they're still rowing in the race, then that means they haven't bumped the boat ahead of them. It does potentially mean that they got bumped, but that we can't say. The boat ahead of them, is that... Oh, there is another boat still rowing ahead of them, though. Dark blue, so maybe that is Unif, so maybe they haven't bumped after all.
Yes, we see the crew's just in shot. We've got Hartford, what we reckon to be University, then St. Peter's, as Adam has already alluded to, and then coming into shot, it is St. Bennett's. They set off 7th, but I think we can see there on the screen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boats, and be able to confirm all the results, all the bumps, all the movements that have happened in this division. Shortly after racing has wrapped up, we'll be able to bring that graphic up on the screen. But just coming into shot now, it is Brasenose, their second aid, followed by the umpire's launch. So once they row over the course, they will wrap up the women's division 6. And
sorry, if I can just cut across you. If we look if we keep this same shot without moving the camera, we can see the clacker on the left of the screen there by the boat, the little white pole with kind of like a white arm sticking out there. And we'll see in a second as the boat passes it, they drop the clacker, and that makes a little sound so the boat knows they're finished, and then they have to bring it back up again for the next boat. So I just point out, so that's the finish line. So where the boats are past that is basically just like a parking area where the boats will spin and wait for the end of the race, and then they can row back down.